CNN's Global Resources right now trained on Haiti, specifically Port-au-Prince, right now the epicenter of this quake. Our Gary Tuchman is on the ground now at the, it's Susan Candiotti. We know that Gary Tuchman is there as well, but we have Susan Candiotti on the phone with us. And Susan, if you would, take your time and describe what you're seeing.
Well, Tony, our journey here began last night when we flew to Santo Domingo, and then we were able to helicopter in once the sun came up to Port-au-Prince to the airport here. Just before we reached Port-au-Prince, with the city opening up before us, we began to see some of the devastation that we had been hearing about and seeing before we left to come down here. I can't tell you how many buildings we saw that were just a pile of dust and rocks. We saw floors pancaked on top of each other. Occasionally, you would see people huddled together. We saw one group of people on a soccer field, seeming as though they didn't have anywhere else to go, and they probably didn't. From there, we flew over
Susan,
and more examples.
Susan, I apologize. Your colleague and mine, Gary Tuchman, has some new information. I know he's with you there in pretty close proximity.
Gary Tuchman is the Prime Minister.
And Port-au-Prince. And Gary, good to talk to you. What do you have for us?
Tony, we're at the Port-au-Prince airport right now, and as you might imagine, it's fairly chaotic at the airport here in the capital city. We just finished interviewing the Prime Minister of Haiti, Jean-Max Rive. We asked him what he thought the death toll was, and he said there's no way to accurately estimate it right now, but he said he believed he was in the hundreds of thousands. Now, we were taken aback, obviously. That's horrible if that were to be true. And we said, do you mean thousands or hundreds? He said hundreds of thousands. I said, so more than 100,000, 100,000. That's his estimate. Obviously, we don't know if that's going to be true at this point, but that is what the Prime Minister of Haiti is telling us. I asked him about the capital, Port-au-Prince. I said, how much of the city is destroyed or damaged? He said all of it is either damaged or destroyed. And then I asked him a very important question when it comes to world order. I said, is the government still in control in Haiti? And he goes, I hope so. I'm the Prime Minister. I'm here. And Tony, right now with us, Jean-Max Rive, the Prime Minister of Haiti, has just walked up to me. You can I'm going to hand our satellite phone to him right now, Tony Harris. So hold on a second. Here's the Prime Minister.
Mr. Prime Minister, you are detailing widespread devastation that begins to look in the order of the Southeast Asian tsunami. Once again, how many people do you fear may have succumbed to their injuries as a result of this earthquake?
As I explained, it's very difficult at a time to have a fair assessment of the number of victims. But when I make a rapid check of how many construction, how many buildings were collapsed with supposedly the inhabitants inside, I believe that we are well over 100,000.
Well over 100,000, did I hear you correctly?
I hope that it's not true, because I hope that the people at the time left their houses. As we have so much people in the streets right now, we don't know exactly where they were living, but when I've seen so many buildings, so many neighbors totally destroyed, and in some neighborhoods we don't even see people. So I don't know where those people are. So I'm very preoccupied, and I'm backing my first assessment. Yes.
Mr. Prime Minister, I just have to ask you, that is such a large number. To what extent, because I know that to what extent have you been able to travel yourself through the streets of your city to help you come to that kind of an assessment as to the possible death toll? How much of this is your own assessment based on your knowledge of the city, and how much of this is based on reporting you're receiving from others?
5 p.m. last night, and I was trying to go to every place. They told me that there was a large number of people, victims. So in some places, you know, we have very large slums in Haiti, and they are very dense slums where you can find sometimes 7 to 8 people in the same house. And when I I didn't see any houses. They were all destroyed, and we don't see people leaving those places. So my assessment comes from the different places that I visit, myself or other ministerial people that are willing to help the government to make that assessment during the night. I hope but it will not be it won't be the case. But until further notice, I believe that we are in that way.
How concerned are you with your ability now to maintain order and control in your city?
But the good news is that until now, the city is pretty calm for what is happening in Haiti. The population is taking it for a very great maturity. People are trying to direct themselves in some quiet places. People are trying to help each other on the street. And so it has given the time to try to reorganize. What happened in Haiti right now, the same people that are supposed to help the victim are also victims. Policemen, doctors, and they lose their homes, they lose their cars, they lose some families. So it's very difficult to organize the help with.
I believe we may have just.
And we are starting to get into that.
Okay, and Mr. Prime Minister, one more question. Can you clarify the situation at the airport? Are aid flights able to get in? Because obviously, as you know better than I do sitting here in Atlanta, that the time is of the essence, and you've got to get those aid flights on the ground there in Port-au-Prince.
Yeah.
Mr. Prime Minister?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. Just one question about the airport situation right now. Is the airport there in Port-au-Prince functioning? Because, as you know, you've got to get the aid flights on the ground there.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me, I didn't hear you so well.
All right. One more time, Mr. Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Can you clear up the situation surrounding the airport? Is the airport open and functioning? Are you able to get flights on the ground with the aid that your city and country really needs right now?
Right now, I'm at the ground of the airport, and we have planes landing. I know that there is some problem.
Okay. I just think we've lost the connection. I hope that was helpful. As you could hear yourself, the phone call was breaking up in and out, as you would certainly understand given the situation on the ground in Haiti. Now, we've been speaking with Jean-Max Bellarive, the Prime Minister of Haiti. CNN's Anderson Cooper is also on the ground there.